Thanks for your call. You're on the BetUS caller line.
Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing, fellas?
Good, great, thank you.
Okay, so I got a quick question for you. In Baylor's football history, what's the most iconic play? Would it be the RG3 pass to Terrence Williams to finally beat Oklahoma, or would it be the 4 goal stops this weekend?
It's a great question.
It's a great question.
Marshall.
And you know what? I think that is up on the site, Sikkim365.com in the premium section. I haven't looked at that thread, but man,
I think that it has to be RG3 for right now because of just what that turned everything into. I mean, that turned them from being they were still a laughingstock, quite frankly. And man, if you had any idea growing up in Texas, whenever Baylor would get brought up in football, if they ever got brought up in football, it was always that's going to be a blowout win for whoever they're playing. They were a laughingstock. They were, and just no respect for the program growing up here in Texas. And that was just kind of the team that you knew was the bad team that everybody beat and never won any games. And so for RG3, in large part, along with, obviously Art Briles and his staff and a lot of other players. The receiver on RG3's throw, Terrence Williams, for that game to turn into a Heisman Trophy and turn into the first ever win against Oklahoma and the style that it was. And
to build a stadium.
And to build McLean Stadium, basically. I think that so much came out of that you got to give it to that play. But I think the play on Saturday, the goal line stand, the second goal line stand, mind you, which is incredible, that's got to be like 1B, because to me, the thing that I've been hammering home for the last week and even leading up to the game was it's one thing to get to these games, it's another thing to win them. And there's a difference in programs and the ones that win these games and the ones that just get to these games and they say, oh, well, at least we got to it. And 2 years ago, Baylor got to this game, and they lost to Oklahoma in dramatic fashion. Nearly won that one, but just didn't have enough. Oklahoma made the plays at the end to win at AT&T, and it was a feeling of like, well, they'll be back. But at the same time, you knew Matt Rule was probably on his way out, so it was like, oh god, it's just a really weird kind of period. But that they got there, and that was an accomplishment in some way. But they lose the game, so it's an empty feeling. And then you turn around and there's the Sugar Bowl, and we know how weird that buildup was. That was just odd. And then they go and they lose that game to Georgia. So it was like, okay, they had a good year, but like, what did they really do in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, they made appearances. They didn't win anything. This team's already won a Big 12 title. They won it. They won it outright. They won it against the team that beat them up the first time around, and they won it in the most dramatic fashion. To freaking get a goal line stand, 4 straight downs inside the 5 and on the 1, and to stuff them 4 straight times, it's unbelievable to win a game like that. That play on Saturday, or that stand on Saturday, has got to be way, way up there because of what it meant and what it could lead to. But the Terrence Williams catch and the RG3 throw, that sparked everything.
To put that in perspective, and Paul, you remember this. Who's the guy that helped build this? The guy that was monitoring the stadium being built.
Brian Nicholson.
Brian Nicholson said that as soon as RG3 threw that touchdown pass, his phone started blowing up. Now we're going to have to build a stadium on campus. It was that because it was leading to that. And it won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
And it also then allowed Baylor to beat Oklahoma for the first time ever. That's
what I was going to say. There's a building right over there that exists because of that one play.
Yeah, but there might be a bunch more that are built off of the plays that were made on Saturday, and that's the type of win that takes you to another level, in my opinion. They leveled up. I keep using that phrase. They leveled up on Saturday.
Yeah. Jason in West Virginia.